It's time for relaxation. So pull your favorite armchair up to the fire, turn down the lights, put your feet up, sit back, and turn off the radio.
This is the first program.
Just a minute. What do you think you're doing?
I'm doing the announcement.
I see. You do, of course, realise in the last series I always did the announcements.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Well, this time I'm doing the announcements.
Are you?
Yes, you can do the dirty old man bits this time.
Oh, no, I can't do those. I'll do the songs.
No. Bill Oddie does the songs.
No, not this time he doesn't. He's doing the women's parts.
What about Joe Kendall?
She's doing the dirty old man bits.
Oh, I see. And what's Graham Garden doing?
He is the dirty old man.
I see. And what about John Cleese?
John Cleese? What can he do? My name is John Cleese and I'm the star of the show.
Rubbish. You can read the credits.
Very well. This is I'm Sorry, I'll read that again. With special guest John Cleese.
Featuring Tim Brooke-Taylor.
Starring David Hatch.
Surprise celebrity, Graham Garden.
Introducing Joe Kendall.
With Bill Oddie.
And of course, featuring the music of Dave Lee.
Oh, no, I'm doing the dirty old man bits.
Yes. People are always asking us, what was the impact of the last series?
Excuse me, what was the impact of the last series?
See what I mean?
Excuse me, what was the impact of the last...
Let's not overdo it, shall we? Here are some statements by top BBC officials.
I never touched her.
And here are some about the last series. Sir Timothy French Horn, one of the BBC top brass. Top brass.
My post in the BBC is about 3 letters and 2 picture postcards a day. 3 letters and 3 letters and 2. But if I may be serious for a moment, I would just like to say this. This. Oh, dear me, aren't I a tuppence?
And now a few words from the programme controller. Fish, bottle, foot, inevitable, wombat. Lord Featheringhaugh had this to say.
This.
We also asked the opinion of Sir Garth Trim-Candle, who sits on the board of directors. And very comfortable they are, too. But the point is that I'm sorry I'll read that once more, has a not inconsiderable impact upon world politics. Why? Only 3 days after Graham Garden's photo appeared in the overseas edition of the Radio Times, there was a coup in Argentina.
Hey, Manuela, look, here's a Graham Garden's picture.
Coup.
Next, we asked Sir Gregory Philpotts for his candid impressions.
By Jove, missus. Ha ha. How tickle I am. How tickle I am. And full of plumptiousness with it. Ha ha. So, for the lot of you. Ha ha. By Jove, it's me, missus.
No. I said candid impressions.
Oh, I thought you said Ken Dodd impression.
Finally, we asked the Director of Entertainment what sort of audience he was aiming at.
Anyone who's too slow to get out of the way, basically.
What I mean is, to whom do you wish to appeal?
I don't think that is what you mean, actually. As a matter of fact, we are trying to amuse a wider audience, like Hattie Jakes, Fred Emney, Bessie Braddock, and that sort of thing. What we want to do is a program that will mean that millions of people regularly listen to radio. The corporation has always been known for its wild, offbeat ideas.
Thank you. And what of the cast? How did they react to the new series?
I won't do it!
I will not do it! At the 11th hour, the crisis was solved by the personal intervention of the head gardener. And so, in spite of all the alternative arrangements that had been made, the BBC found themselves saying once more, "It's funny, I'll read it again.
Good morning, sir. I've come about the rats.
Oh, good. Won't you come in?
Thank you, sir. lead me to them, would you, sir?
Certainly. They're down in the cellar.
Right.
Here we are.
I see. Right, we are then. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Boo! Well, I don't think you'll be seeing them again, sir. Good morning. Hello there. This is the BBC Dark Programme. And a jolly good afternoon to all you overseas listeners. This am Alva Liddell. Doing his best to do a darkies accent to make you all feel at home. Now we got a great big surprise for you. 'Cause here is the BBC's own coloured announcer to talk to you.
Good afternoon. A countryside in August today comes from a clearing in the mangrove forests of eastern Mbulu land. Around me I can see the antelopes gently nibbling the grass, and I can see hyenas gently nibbling the antelopes. Time for our first call, which will be a pygmy reservation. Hello, could you reserve me 2 pygmies for tonight, please? Thank you. Secondly, it's down on the farm, and we pay a visit to the National Aardvark Trials, and I'm talking to Farmer Giles Banderanono. Now, just as English farmers use dogs to herd sheep, you use these aardvarks to round up hippos.
Oh, yes, that is correct.
I thought they were round enough. But surely, a hippo is not going to be frightened of an aardvark.
Oh, yes, he is. Fear is the result of unfamiliarity. And you see, the hippo is a very lazy animal, very lazy. So he's not used to aardvark. Not used to aardvark. Untie your tuppence.
Yes, well, they do say a penny plain, tuppence
That's
coloured.
quite enough of that talk,
Yes. Now tell me, how do you control an aardvark? Do you whistle like a sheepdog?
I don't know. I never heard a sheepdog whistle. Seriously, though, it's very similar. Let me call that one over there.
Carry on.
Come here, Rover!
Thank you.
Stupid mutt.
Now, Mr. Farmer, finally we were hoping to see Timothy, your champion aardvark.
Oh, I'm afraid he's suffering from an indisposition.
Oh, dear me, so I see. In fact, he's lying dead on his back with all 4 legs sticking in the air. You call that an indisposition?
Oh, yes, because he's been in this position for several years.
Yes, well, let's try and forget all about the aardvark trial, as we just have time for a few listeners' inquiries. Now, the first question comes from Pygmy Lil of 17 Mud Hut Villas. She asks,
I'm 2 feet high, bow-legged, and I've got great plates of wood in my mouth to make my lips stick out, and heavy weights in my earlobes to make them 2 feet long, and I still can't get a boyfriend.
that'll teach you to play around with plastic surgery. And from her brother,
How can I get milk from my cat?
steal its saucer. And one final letter, W. So that's it from the Overseas Service for this week. Next week, we'll be telling those of you who have shrunken heads how to shrink your bodies so that they fit. Also, how to cook a tax collector and how to make a Buwana split. Good night.
Say, Mark, what do you think would happen if this plane were forced to crash land in the desert?
Oh, usual thing, I suppose. All the uninteresting people aboard would be killed off for a start.
Why?
No, no, in those films about desert crashes, you always have to be left with about 7 survivors. 7 souls thrown together into a sandy hell from which only 2 would emerge alive. I mean, it stands to reason you can't have 7 boring people struggling for survival. It just wouldn't be box office.
Oh, good. We'd be all right then, because we are deeply interesting, well-drawn characters, aren't we?
Of course we are, Angela. You would have to survive anyway, because you're the only woman aboard.
And would we be the only 2 that are rescued in the end by this band of wandering red-faced Tuaregs?
Blue-faced, actually, dear. No, I'd die.
Oh, Mark. How sad.
Yes. Not till the end, though. I'd spend most of my time lying under this awning, revealing deeply meaningful truths about humanity through my incredibly parched lips.
But I'd stay with you constantly, wouldn't I?
Yes.
Dabbing your head with a bit of my dress I've torn off so that my legs show.
Of course. And all the time, he is watching from behind his jerry can, smoking a lot and fingering his rosary.
He's an unfrocked priest, isn't he?
That's right, yes.
He's trying to find himself.
Right. And after all the rest of us have snuffed it, you ride off with him on his camel to help him look.
You're delirious when you die, aren't you? You
Yes.
think we're in the bungalow garden at Maidenhead.
That's it. My alert and quicksilver mind has gone. Pitifully. And I say things like, "Look, darling, my syringa's in flower. Pick a bit and have a sniff.
And I smile through my tears, sniff this ballpoint pen and get ink on the end of my nose. You'd think that doctor would have been able to save you.
No, as he said, what can a man do with hands like these? Drink, you see, that's why I got struck off the list 10 years ago. Shame the pilot cracks up so soon. Still, you have to have a coward on these occasions.
Can we blame him, Mark, when he's still haunted by the awful memory of that night in 1944?
Of course, the old flashback, the Lancaster bomber ablaze, the rear gunner who happens to be his best friend and younger brother, shouting, "You go on, Johnny, I'll be all right, everything will be all right, you go on!" And he saves himself by bailing out and never telling anyone, poor devil.
I think he fell in love with me as well.
He must have. The way he atoned for everything by giving his life for you. Not a pretty sight, though. Throwing himself between you and a herd of scorpions attracted by your scent.
No.
No.
And as I ride off on the camel with the defrocked priest into the sunset, I'm weeping bitterly.
I know.
But weeping with hope in my eyes. Yes.
Oh, yes.
Look, we're landing.
Happy hops indeed. You don't stay out long for 10 bob, do you?
Evening news, please. Come in, lad, come in. Come in, boy. When I say come in, I mean come in. Oh, are you? Well, what do you think you're doing in that cupboard? Come out this instant. That's enough of that.
I'm sorry for.
Now, look here.
Yes?
I have something I want to get off my chest.
Yes, what's that?
It's a tattoo saying I love Rosie. However, the reason I want to see you is that I could do with a bit of a laugh.
Well, I'll give you
Look at yourself, you little scruff bag.
I beg your pardon?
It's high time you tidied yourself up.
Oh, certainly.
I've never seen such a ghastly mess since I married your mother. What are you laughing at, huh? Come on, out with it. What's so funny? Really? Well, you might have told me they were undone. Had a lot of trouble with them lately.
Oh, I'm sorry for.
Nylon shoelaces.
Shocking, aren't they? Yes,
Now listen, I've been speaking to your mother.
Ah,
Now, I'm not going to tell you what she told me, because I didn't understand it myself.
no. What a shame.
However, she did mention that you've been off your food lately.
Yes, I have.
Is that true?
Yes, it is.
Don't try and deny it, you cunning little rascal.
Yeah, you're right.
And don't you speak to me like that. You know I'm easily upset.
Oh,
I've a good mind to take my slipper to you.
don't.
No. No, on second thoughts, you can jolly well come and fetch it yourself.
Very well.
Now then, you little ragamuffin.
Yes?
Stand up straight and sit still when I'm talking to you.
Sorry for.
Look at yourself.
Yes,
Pull
I'll-
yourself together, boy. Pull your stomach in, chest out, keep your arms in, put your left leg out, knees bend, arms stretch, rah, rah, rah. Oh, hokey, cokey, cokey.
Ho to the hokey cokey.
Shut up.
Ho.
That's better. Now, wipe that smile off your shoes and listen to what I'm telling you.
Yes, sir.
I'm not enjoying this, you know.
Aren't you?
Well, not as much as I thought I would. Well,
What a shame.
now, since you won't eat what's provided, I'm going to give you what for.
What for?
What do you mean, what for?
Yeah, what for?
You know perfect well what for, and that's what I'm going to give you. What for?
What for? No.
Are you following me?
No.
Aren't you? That's funny. Somebody's following me. Well, that's all I've got to say to you, so just run along.
Bye-bye.
Mustn't keep your fiancée waiting. Now, here is a news flash. Old-age pensioner Mrs. Annie Pentagon was rushed to Gravesend Hospital last night after swallowing a hot water bottle while eating her tea. Said a friend who was with her at the time of the accident, Annie didn't mean to swallow the hot water bottle. She thought it was the typewriter.
Morning, wonderful day, isn't it? Mind if I share this bench with you?
No, go ahead, make yourself at home.
Come to this park every morning, you know, nothing like a bit of peace and quiet amongst Mother Nature's gifts, eh?
If you say so, yeah.
Dung, 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 dung. Dung, 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 dung. Yes, this is one of our more quiet parks, this one.
You feeling all right?
Kinkity-plonk. Kinkity-plonk, kinkity-plonk. Yeah, fine, thanks. Bonkity-kink. Bonkity-kink, bonkity-kink.
You did say you were feeling all right.
Whittling, 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 whittling. Whoa, my beauty. Whoa, whoa, my beauty.
Who are you talking to?
Sit, boy, sit, sit.
Who are you talking to?
This Anto chap, great friend of mine. Stay, boy, stay. Stay.
Ants?
Stay.
I can't see any ants.
Oh, we may not be able to see them, but I can hear them. Do you know, my ears are so sensitive I can hear everything.
Really?
Do you know what that was?
Should I?
That was my impression of a daffodil.
A daffodil. Doing what?
Growing, of course. That's the noise they make when they grow.
You mean you can hear flowers growing?
I told you I can hear everything. Guess what that one is? Go on, guess it, go on. Guess it.
I don't know.
Go on, guess, go on, just try.
Well, a worm eating a crisp.
A worm eating a crisp. It's that willow tree having a drink. Goes on all day like that. Great guzzle guts.
Do all plants make noises?
Yeah, of course they do.
Well, what does a rose sound like then?
Well, in the morning it goes, and then in the afternoon it goes, afternoon. And in the evening it goes,
Well, what was the bang?
That was the rose closing up for the night.
Your ears must be absolutely fantastic.
That's what they all say. Oh, well, must be off, duty calls and all that. Might see you here sometime. Bye now.
No, don't go. Here, hold on. Oh, he's gone. What a pity.
Excuse me, sir, has that chap been telling you all about his sensitive hearing?
Yes, he has.
Yes.
Who are you?
I'm the park keeper. He comes in here every day, he does. Of course, you know he's his meditator, don't you?
Oh, well, I was beginning to wonder.
I suppose he did his impression of a daffodil growing, did he?
Yes, as a matter of fact, he did.
Yes, how did it go?
Well, it was a sort of,
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I told you he was mad, sir. Everyone knows it goes, hey, hey, hey!
And now a number from the fab new album, Billy Cotton Meets the Pretty Things.
A little Cockney song about the changing face of London.
Yeah, another boring Cockney number.
Yes, here we go then, right. Oh, right, 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, here we go. Here we go, last time. 1, a 2, and a 3. Here we go.
4, 5, 6. From Timbuktu to Kathmandu, no matter where I roam, there's a little place in London that will always be my home. We can all go gay on a Saturday, you would fancy that. It's a funny little street where the mods all meet, and this is where it's at. Oh, down at the old boutique. I go there every week, dancing there, prancing there. I look sweet to be kinky, dear, down at the old boutique. Oh, I'll be really chic, in trouser suits and old nail boots, down at the old boutique. Found a pair of trousers, oh, too tight.
I say, I'm really with it. I bought myself a kilt today.
Oh, yes? No flyers on you.
I like it.
There's R&B and BBC and army surplus shirts and lovely little dollies that wear belts instead of skirts.
There's off the pace.
And inside leg.
And lots of Mary Quaints.
And the first time thrill of the clammy chill of leather underpants. Ooh.
Down at the old boutique.
Oh, I could hardly speak. There's lots of bells.
Lots of bows.
Lots of these.
And lots of bows.
Down at the old boutique. It left me feeling weak. They wouldn't give it tuppence for your watch chain. Down at the old boutique. Hey. Gotta find a hobnail. Boutique.
I say, I like your jackets, but what have you got in trousers?
Legs.
I like it a lot.
All together now. Oh, down at the old boutique. Oh, you should take a peek. There's mountain days, cocks and teas, pearly kings and pearly queens. Down at the old boutique. Why don't you join the clique? I'm more pop up with the Austin car. Down at the old boutique. Gotta find a hobnail. Boutique.
More and more people are taking their holidays abroad, but even more are taking their broads on holiday. However, we are apt to forget that our own British Isles have as much to offer in the way of sunshine, recreation and beauty as any other fog-bound little cluster of boring old islands in the North Sea. And so, at a time when holidays are uppermost in our minds, we bring you the first of a series of features entitled Britain for the British.
We'll keep a welcoming the hillsides. We'll keep a welcoming the winds. This land of ours will still be singing when you come home again.
Ireland. Land of the shillelagh, land of the shamrock, land of the rose of Tralee, and other well-known public houses. Yes, Ireland, the Emerald Isle, the land of song. Last summer, I took a boat to Ireland, land of the free.
That'll cost you 3 and 10.
The land of the free and 10. And as I stepped off the Dublin ferry, I was immediately struck.
Take that, your English twit.
As I wandered the cobbled streets of that majestic city, I seemed to hear running through my mind the words of that great expatriate Irish poet, Finn McCool.
O Ireland, country of my birth, let us drink a toast to thee. Finest, fairest land on earth, Ireland, country of the free.
Those words running incessantly...
Let not foreign sword nor gun e'er molest your sweet domain.
Those words seem to...
Never conquer, never won, always free
shut
you
up?
will remain.
Irish twit, will you...
Drink a toast, you Irish lad! Irish stout,
Get
so
pretty angry if you
sweet
do.
and thick. Drink it down, lads, drink it quick. Now I think I'm going to be sick.
After a pleasant afternoon watching the fishermen leaning over the harbour wall just after the pubs had shut, I spent the evening strolling through the streets broad and narrow of Dublin's fair city. It was in those streets, steeped in history and so forth, that I met Miss Kitty Malone. Miss Malone, you are a descendant of the famous Molly Malone, celebrated in song.
That's the truth, sure enough.
Perhaps you'd tell us more about this famous family of yours.
Well, me mother was a little grey-headed old lady with the sweetest little blue eyes and a right hook like a sledgehammer.
Did you have any brothers or sisters?
Sure enough, I have 3 brothers. Seamus was wounded in the border troubles.
How did that happen?
Well, we was chucking out the border because he hadn't paid up the rent.
And your other brothers?
Well, me brother Patrick went into the church.
I see, he took the cloth.
No, just the candlesticks in the lectern. about 3 months, but they let him out after a week for bad behaviour.
And your last brother?
Me brother Harry. He was a fine man.
What happened to him?
Oh, it was a terrible tragedy, and him in the first flower of his manhood.
I see, he was a pansy.
He took up with a bad crowd, and look where he ended up.
In jail?
Gracious, no, in the Parliament.
That joke was sent in by Miss Rosie Bedsock of 14 The Villas, West Hartlepool.
And so, with a cheery wave of my hand, I knocked her into the gutter and hurried back to my lodgings, where I spent part of the night at the open window, reading aloud from the works of Oscar Wilde, and the rest of the night in jail. Next day, I packed my things, but before leaving Dublin, I talked to white-headed old Father Cohen, who once knew Oscar Wilde.
Ah, yes, that's right, I did. So I did know Oscar Wilde. And a devil of a fellow he was too, sir. You know that. He was a devil of a fellow with Oscar Wilde.
And renowned for his wit.
No. I mean, yes, he was. He was renowned, sir. I remember one occasion. I asked him to his face, mind you, and a devil of a fellow he was, you know, and a devil of a face he had. Straight up to him and went, I said to him, Mr. Wilde, could you tell us the time of day? And he turned to me, you know, he said, you know what, he turned to me, he did, a devil of a fellow he was, he turned to me, and he said, get this, he said, no. That's the sort of man he was. Yes, I remember another occasion I remember. Sure, he liked to drop a stout, you know that. Now, Mr. Wilde, he liked to drop a stout, and there was a story when one time.
2 days later, I bade a cheery farewell to Father Cohen and set off for the country, the heart of Ireland. My car had broken down, so suitcase in hand, I waved goodbye to the city and stepped into a pony trap. A friendly farmer helped me out of the trap, and so, bandaging my ankle and carefully putting it in the corner of my suitcase, I set out on foot. I was soon tramping through the lush, grassy bogs, and imagine my delight when in a leafy dell by the banks of a chuckling stream, I suddenly came upon the Irish Parliament.
Quiet, boys, quiet now. Dry your tears. Now, about this motion of censure. For a start, there's nothing wrong with our economic policy that a bit of embezzling won't put right. Look at our exports this year. Look at them. Here they are in this box. Look at them. Darling they are. And this year we found a brand new export. His name's O'Leary, and he knows all about foreign affairs. Because he's had so many. Give me another pint and a potato.
What about our defence policy now?
The defence review's coming along nicely, thank you. We're buying a new missile from the Portuguese. It's called Blue Shillelagh. Surface to surface. Never leaves the ground. And the Navy's getting a new aircraft carrier. He's called Paddy McGinty, and he's a powerful, strong fella. We're going to give him a submarine, too. No, lads. You remember the tugboat that sank Tuesday?
We do?
Yes, well, we put wheels on it. The Admiral still resigned, though, yes. He said he needed the publicity. Give us another potato. Now, boys. It's not the government's fault we're in a mess.
That's right.
'Tis the fault of the little people. Always interfering, the little people.
Send them back to Japan.
So, give me another potato.
And so we say farewell to these wonderful, friendly people as we leave them rolling in the Emerald Isles.
We'll keep our welcome in the hillside.
That was a short excerpt from the signature tune of I'm Sorry, I'll Read That Again. Taking part were Tim Brooke-Taylor, John Cleese, Graham Garden, David Hatch, Joe Kendall and Bill Oddie. The music was by Dave Lee, the song by Bill Oddie, and the scripts by John Esmond, Bob Larby, Graham Garden, Bernard King, David Lund and Bill Oddie. The show was produced by Humphrey Barclay, who was sent in by a listener. The programme was recorded.
And now it's time once more for Round Britain Quiz.
Hello. This is Lemuel Pale in London with our resident team, Sir Jeremy Logan and Hugh Chaptyke. And are you there in Edinburgh, Roy Plumtree? No. Well, are you there in Manchester? Yes, I am, and I have with me our Manchester team, whose names I forget for the moment. So let's start off with your round. Thank you. We'll have 4 shandies and tomato juice. Cheers. Cheers. And here's the first question. Who or what were the 3 little pigs, and what had the big bad wolf in common with them?
Yes, of course, in Dublin, a pig means 4pence halfpenny. So 3 little pigs would be 1 and 3 halfpence.
And the big bad wolf?
This is Dickens, of course.
No.
No, I think you're on the wrong track there, Hugh Chaptyke. I don't think they know Roy Plumtree.
Of course we know Roy Plumtree. He's that bald fella.
If I said pickled herring, would that help you?
No.
I thought not.
Are the pigs you mention fact or fiction?
Neither.
Well, that narrows the field considerably.
Is there not some connection here with a certain envelope and 17 artichokes?
Yes?
Oh.
Well, your time is up.
Wellington boots.
No, the answer is, of course, Paris.
Oh, of course.
So you get no marks there. And now we have a musical question. Why does the following piece of music strike terror into the hearts of thousands?
Well, I think there are 6 reasons. Tim Brooke-Taylor, John Cleese, Graham Garden, David Hatch, Joe Kendall, and Bill Oddie.
Yes, quite right. In fact, any one of those would have been enough. Quite enough. So that means...
Yes?
I'm sorry, I'll read that again.
Here we are, Angela. The Blue Hop Bowl. An old country inn, a true part of our English heritage.
English dishes served in a friendly atmosphere. Super.
Good evening. Evening. You left it a bit late, haven't you? It's nearly 7 o'clock. All right, give me your coats. Thank you. That'll be £1 each. A pound? Either that or we go through your pockets while you're eating. Now, did you book? Well, yes, a table for 2 in the name Quentin Thomas. Oh, yes, as I said to cook, cutie and his cutie. All right, this way.
Gerald, my foot's caught. I can't get my heel out of the floor grating.
Grills are our speciality. Now step out of the shoe and leave it there with the others. Come along, hurry up.
Oh, very well. Shall we... Oh!
Mind the beam.
Oh!
And the other one. Right, this is your table. What? Out here in the corridor? Yes, I've got my motorbike stripped down in the dining room. Oh, what about the breakfast room? I've got the maid stripped down in there. Come on, look sharp and start ordering. No, cook has a bus to catch and it's my early night. Most things are off anyway. At least it smells like it. Well, I think we'll start with the martini aperitif. No, you won't. I can't reach part of the cellar. It's flooded. You can have the Moroccan furniture, Sherry, if you want. The Montillado Wadi Ben Ahmed. I think not, thank you.
The sole à la monégasque. That sounds interesting.
Yes, that's Dover sole stuffed with truffles and caviar with a lobster and white wine sauce, garnished with buttered artichokes and deviled shrimps. It's quite delicious and it's off. We have got 2 portions left, but one's for me and the other's for the cat. I see. Well, creme de champignon, then, from your own beds. No, you're too early for the mushrooms.
Too early?
Yes, they haven't got up yet. Angela, I think I favour the ragout de lait provençal.
Ah.
Don't you think that'd be nice?
That is one of our typical English dishes.
Oh, what is it?
I don't know. It's a very rare dish. No one has ever ordered it before, but it might be curried toad. Right, it's 2 toads then. Now, the sweet. Prunes or fruit?
What's the fruit?
Prunes.
Well, I'll have the prunes.
The prunes are off.
I'll have the fruit then.
Right, 1 prune.
We'll take white coffee in the lounge to finish with.
No, black only. It's much more economic for us, and you can't use the lounge. We've got a stray Guernsey in there.
I can't think what brings people here.
Muddy cars.
With food served under the personal supervision of the proprietor. Oh, we've not seen him.
Perhaps not. He's watching you through that crack in the ceiling. Now, I must get on. Here's your bottle and a hammer. Open it while I'm away.
Oh, thanks very much.
And if any other customers arrive while I'm away, sit them at the billiard table and get them polishing the horse brasses. I'll be back in 2 hours.
Yes, darling.
I love you.
Do you know what this means?
Yes, it means warm affection, strong emotional attachment, sexual passion or desire, charity, benevolence, self-sacrificing goodwill, devotion, or term of endearment.
Well, you've certainly done your homework, I must say. But do you mean it?
Of course I do.
I think your love means nothing.
As in tennis, you mean?
No, I don't. Where do you get these definitions?
From that New English Dictionary.
Is that the one with...
Yes, with all 4 letters.
Darling, are you trying to say something to me?
No, I'm not.
I think you're a sex maniac.
I am not.
Why not? What's wrong with me? Anyway, what was that bit about sexual passion or desire?
I also said I had a strong emotional attachment and self-sacrificing goodwill.
I see. It's intellectual rape.
It is not.
You're taking advantage of a young girl's mind.
All I said was that I loved you.
Take your filthy thoughts off me, you disgusting mental Casanova.
You mean take my hands off you?
No, leave them where they are.
You mean it's just your mind you want to keep clean?
Yes.
How disgusting. So my mind's not good enough for you.
I didn't say
A
that.
lot of people find my mind very handsome.
I'm sure they do.
I've been called the Gregory Peck of minds.
Fancy.
If there was a Mr. Universe competition for minds, mine would take first 3 places.
3 cheers for your mind.
Why don't you like it?
It's filthy.
It is not.
It is. You can practically write "wash me" on your mind. It's so filthy.
That is the last straw. I'm going.
I thought you were going.
That was my mind. The rest of me is staying here with you.
When you're waiting for your ship to come in and it's lost without trace. When things are getting on top of you and life is too hard to face. When your silver lining's a long time coming and you're feeling sad and blue. Don't get downhearted, don't lose hope, 'cause there's one thing left to do. Just powder your face with quick lime, pour acid on your hair, pour boiling water on your hands today, and feel your fingers tingle as the skin peels away. Ho! Give me that Osterade jacket and hand me the horsehair shirt. For masochistic pleasure there is nothing that's half as thrilling as the tingle of a sulphuric bath. Then dry yourself with nettles for a really good laugh and drown all your troubles in vitriol bubbles and drown all your troubles away.
Here is a news flash. A man escaped from a Watford jeweller's today with £15,000 worth of jewellery. Watford police are looking for a man who may be able to help them with their inquiries. preferably a fully trained detective. And now, biology for schools. This afternoon, Dr. Sampson Huge will be talking to you about sex. Dr. Huge.
Hello. I've been asked to talk to you today about the facts of life. Sex. Now, this is not a subject that we should keep hidden away to get embarrassed about or snigger at. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. No. Sex is a wonderful thing if it is treated honestly and properly. Oh, yes. What then is sex? Let's have a look at this board here. This is a man, and this is a woman. If you can't tell the difference between them, then just ask your teacher what you're doing listening to this broadcast. Now, I expect one or two of you are wondering why the man and woman are both black. Well, that just happens to be the colour of my board. Not that there's anything wrong in being black, my goodness me, no. A lot of very nice people are black and sexy. Now, just take a look at this next picture. Do you know what that is? It's a baby. Isn't it? Of course it is. If it isn't, my whole theory falls flat on its face. Now, the next question that you should be asking yourself is, what is the connection between the man, the woman, and the baby? And that's a very good question. No, it's nothing to be sniggered at. In fact, it's all to do with birds and bees. Although, for the life of me, I can't see why. Anyway, I've drawn a picture of a bird and a bee here, so perhaps you can draw your own conclusions. It does seem a bit unlikely, doesn't it? Perhaps a more scientific approach would be better. Let's go back to the blackboard. Now, sex is really a simple equation. A man, M, plus a woman, W, equals a baby, B. A baby, B? Ah, that's where the bees come in. Well, anyway, M plus W equals the B. Have you got that? Good. Now, suppose we try and move the baby, or the B, over to the left of the equation, in which case, of course, it becomes a minus. So M plus W minus B equals 0. It's rather beautiful, isn't it? Now, some of you brighter children may say, what on earth is the use of that? And that's another very good question. But your mistake is to assume that that round figure is a 0. It isn't a 0 at all. It's an egg. That's it, it's an egg, and that's where the baby comes from. Or perhaps that's where the birds come from. And the bees. That's it, the baby bee comes from the egg, which was laid by the chicken. That's where the birds come in. Well, that's sex, you see. You do? Well, next week I shall be talking about sex again, this time for children from 5 to 7. And the week after for children from 8 to midnight. Good night.
Popular legend has always made heroes out of criminals, and the nastier the original, the more glamorous the legend. To save posterity the trouble of composing it, we present a ballad of the 60s, a glossy myth that hides the truth.
There's a railway line to Cheddington, come ride it now with me. And we call the 8th of August in 1963. And above the engine whistle you will hear an eerie cry. Oh, mothers, hide your children, 'tis the robbers passing by. The train robbers, the train robbers, the train robbers in the sky. A great train came thundering down the Glasgow-Euston line. Said the fireman to the engineer, I think we're doing fine. But they took a look in London at the breaking of the day, and they found £3 million had got lost along the way. Train robbers, the train robbers in the sky. So half a dozen men were locked away, or so we thought. But the next time that they counted them, they were a couple short. And they've even called the army in to guard the prison door. But I've got a funny feeling they're going to lose some more. The train robbers, the train robbers, the famous outlaws, we must add 2 other names. Arthur Biggs and Charlie Wilson, the grottiest of them all. They climbed right into history that day they climbed the wall. The train robbers, train robbers, the train robbers in the sky. Arthur Biggs and Charlie Wilson, where are you right now? Are you on the Flying Scotsman or the 4:15 to Slough? If you never rob another train, it really will be sad. For you were the best publicity the railways ever had. You were the train robbers, the train robbers, the train robbers in the sky.
Many listeners have written to us asking for more adult entertainment in this program, as they feel that we cater more for the younger age groups. The actual words used were puerile and simple-minded. In view of this, we now present a radio adaptation of that rollicking, boisterous historical novel, Moll, Flounders, Diary of a Woman of Fortune.
I was born in the year 1703 to poor but married parents. My father was blacksmith in the little Gloucestershire village of Lesser Tickling in Hertfordshire. Of my early life, I remember but little, except that I spent my days wandering about the nearby countryside, watching the summer turning to autumn, the leaves turning to gold, and my father turning to drink. My father was a powerful man, but gentle, and for hour upon hour he would bounce me on his knee, or against the wall as the fancy took him. I saw very little of my mother as a child, as she was grown up by the time I met her. And so my childhood passed, until one day, as I strolled through the nearby woods, a strange thing happened. I suddenly came face to face with a tall, handsome stranger astride a beautiful horse wearing hunting pink. But before I could ask why his horse was wearing hunting pink, he spoke. I'd never heard a horse speak before, and I gasped with amazement. The handsome rider dismounted and tossed back his luxuriant black hair, which landed in the grass behind him. He addressed me.
Now, what do we hear? What's your name, me pretty?
Moll Flounders, sir.
Well, Moll, you're a handsome wench, and no mistake.
Sir, I believe you're a stranger to these parts.
That's right, I usually play old men.
But I've not seen you before.
No, I am Sir Roger de Coverlet, the new squire.
Oh, I know all about you squires and your wicked practices.
There's nothing wicked about squire practices. But you are forgiven, my dear. Come, let us sit down on the grass and we'll make up.
Oh, all right.
May I borrow your lipstick? Thank you. But now I must go. We shall meet again, for you shall come to work at Coverlet Manor.
Without another word, he jumped on his horse. I watched him jumping up and down in it for a few minutes. Then I hurried home, shaken but not stirred. Next morning, who should ride up to our humble cottage but Sir Roger? He spoke earnestly with my father for a few moments, and I saw the sum of 20 guineas change hands. I could see that my father was greatly moved at parting with the money. But before I knew what was happening, Sir Roger had hauled me up onto the horse beside him and we were off. We soon clambered on again and galloped up the road towards the manor.
Here we are me pretty, coverlet manner. You shall work here as a chambermaid from now on. Ah, here is Grimbling, the butler.
Welcome home, Master Roger. 'Tis a long, long time since we've seen you at Coverlet Manor. Your mother wishes to see you in the green
Get on with
room.
it.
I'm afraid she's not very well today. She's been seeing spots before her eyes.
Dear me, has she seen a doctor?
No, sir, just spots.
That's a very old joke,
I'm a
Grimbling.
very old butler.
Come along, Moll, come along, Moll. Let's go and see Mother.
We entered a large green room, and sitting at the fireplace was Lady Coverlet, a tall, regal, gracious bit of crackling. She was sitting too close to the fire. Blushing, I dropped a curtsy.
Buddy finger. Mother, this is Moll, the new chambermaid.
Come here, child, where I can see you. You have a pretty face, my dear, and a fine figure to boot.
Oh, that is so unfunny.
Maybe, but I usually get a laugh with the voice. Roger, come here. I do not approve of this young lady. She comes from rude peasant stock. It should make very good soup. But if I turned my back on her, there's no knowing what she might pinch.
You can trust her mother and her father.
Very well. Very well, but don't go getting involved with her. Now it is time for my tea and muffins. Ask Grimbling to bring the tea, and tell Muffins I'm waiting for him.
And so I started work at Coverlet Hall. During the next weeks, I saw a great deal of Roger, though I didn't see him very often. Then, one day...
Oh, Moll, will you marry me?
Roger, this is so sudden!
Then the answer's no?
Yes!
Oh.
For the next 4 days, he hardly spoke, and then...
What do you mean, yes?
I mean, I will!
Oh, Moll, we must tell Mother at once. Mother, I'm going to marry Moll, your chambermaid.
Handmaid?
No, chambermaid.
Oh, send me muffins.
Next morning we were married, and that night a glittering ball was given.
Here's a glittering ball for you, my good. And a Christmas cracker for you, you lovely creature.
As I entered the ballroom that night, all eyes turned in my direction, gathering up my skirts which had fallen off in the excitement. I walked serenely into the room.
Ah, there you are, Moll. What's been holding you up?
A safety pin.
Come and let me introduce you to some of the guests.
Good evening, Coverlet. Who is this captivating witch?
Ah, Moll, this is the Prime Minister, my wife.
I didn't know you were already married, Roger.
What an enchanting girl. Absolutely enchanting.
Poor old soul, he's been having a hard time with the rent bill. If he doesn't pay up Tuesday, he'll be evicted. Now, you must meet Sir Lionel Tuppence. He's in the cabinet.
What's he doing in there?
Mixing cocktails. Ah, there is someone else you must meet. Count Alphonse toujours la politesse.
Madame, I have been looking forward to this moment all evening.
Count Alphonse is French.
I know that.
Yes, but the people at home may have some difficulty with the accent.
But listen, the band is striking up. Will you join me on the floor?
Well, I don't want to get my dress dirty.
I mean, would you care to dance?
I'll be delighted.
You will, you will.
Five minuets later, it was time for Count Alphonse to leave, but for the rest of the evening, I seemed to see his devilishly handsome face always before me. That night, as I undressed in my boudoir, I heard a strange noise behind the screen.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
The French Count!
Yes! Yes, it is I, Alphonse, toujours la politesse. Come away with me, Moll.
What are you saying?
Oh, my little cabbage, my little mushroom. Let me take you away from here.
But what about my husband?
No, I'd rather take you.
Oh, Alphonse, you've persuaded me.
Oh, Moll.
So, what have we here?
Oh, my husband.
Mon Dieu, I am undone.
So I see. Count Alphonse, I must insist that honor is satisfied. Choose your weapon.
I choose swords.
Very well, I choose pistols. Till dawn tomorrow night, then. Good morning.
Oh, Alphonse, what will you do?
Moll, chérie, I am an aristocrat and a Frenchman.
Then you fight him?
No, I'll run away. I shall smuggle myself into France.
But what about the French customs?
You must learn them from somebody else, my dear. Farewell!
I never saw Alphonse again, and next day my husband and I set out for London, where we were to live. Suddenly, as the carriage passed over a narrow bridge...
Stand and deliver.
Who the devil are you, sir?
I am none other than Dick Turpentine, the notorious highwayman, and this is my famous horse, Black Beauty.
I thought Black Beauty was a book.
You're right. No wonder she's so slow.
That's a terrible joke.
It's a terrible book. All right, hands up, the lot of you. This pistol I'm holding is a gun. So step out of the coach and throw down your valuables.
But we'll catch cold.
That's not what I mean. Oh, I don't know, though.
Now, look here, my good fellow. If you let us go on our way, I shall give you these 4 pieces of 8. Or these 2 pieces of 16.
I'll take the money if you throw in your wife.
Very well. Hup!
Thank you, sir. God bless you.
Coachman, drive to London as fast as you can.
Yes, sir. Giddy up there, me beauties. To London we'll go.
You might have waited for me.
Well, I must be on my way.
What about me?
Well, you'll have to walk, seeing as you haven't got a horse to ride.
Well, what about my wife?
Oh, you wouldn't get far on her. Anyway, she's coming with me. Up you come, gal.
Moll, you're not leaving me.
Yes, Roger. When I first met you, I thought you were well-bred. Now I find you're just half-baked.
That joke was sent in by Rosie Bedsock of 40 in the Villas, West Hartlepool.
Bye-bye, sir.
Goodbye, Roger.
Come back! Come back! Come back!
And so I went to look after Dick Turpentine, and I was very happy learning to cook and sew for him. One evening... Hello, darling, had a good day?
No, I had a bit of trouble robbing the Nottingham coach.
What sort of trouble?
Well, you remember you spent last night darning the holes in my black mask?
Yes.
Still, I made a big haul. They made me pull the coach to London. By the way, we're having someone for supper.
Oh, I thought we were having chicken.
I mean, they'll be arriving any moment. But first, I must tell you something.
What is it, Dick? It's another woman, isn't it?
Yes. I met her today on the stagecoach. We're to be married tomorrow. She's a very great lady.
I think I know who you mean. Oh, Dick, I shall never let you go.
Young woman, put down my fiancé!
It's not possible.
Perhaps not, but it makes a very neat ending.
And once again, the Angus Prune tune brings to an end, I'm sorry I'll read that again, which featured the talents of Rosie Bedsock. The script was by Tim Brooke-Taylor, Philip Cox and Graham Garden, the songs by John Cameron and Bill Oddie, and the music was provided in the ordinary way by Dave Lee. Also taking part were Tim Brooke-Taylor, John Cleese, Graham Garden, David Hatch, Joe Kendall and Bill Oddie, who are all currently appearing in the stage adaptation of The Anatomy of Melancholy at the Totteridge and Whetstone Social and Bingo Club. The producer, Humphrey Barclay, isn't appearing in anything at the Peekaboo Club, Soho. And now the next program follows almost immediately in about 10 minutes' time. So before the next program, which follows almost at once, we're going to... So until then, we'll play you some music. We'll play you some music on gramophone records. Well, we seem to be having a little trouble with the gramophone, so until that's put right, I'll tell you something about the next program, which follows in a few minutes. Now, the next program is... the next program follows almost at once. And it's a very good program indeed. Very good. Well, until it begins, I hope you will enjoy listening to a short selection of music from the Student Prince. We apologize for the loss of your program, which is due to a technical fault. There's nothing wrong with our transmitter, so it must be your set. And once again, the Angus Prune tune heralds the arrival in your living room of Tim Brooke-Taylor, John Cleese, Graham Garden, David Hatch, Joe Kendall and Bill Oddie. And here is your special announcer, John Otto Cleese.
I'm sorry, I'll read that again.
Come in, Miss Chaffgrind. Consult the diary. What are my engagements next week?
Monday morning, cocktails, followed by lunch at Sparage's. Yeah. Tuesday's your wife's birthday. Mm-hmm. Table booked for lunch, followed by Ascot in the afternoon. Mm-hmm. Expenses put down as Pakistan trade delegation. Nothing else, sir.
Excellent. Anything in the post?
Oh, mainly routine, sir. Yeah? Mr. Ivor Boot of Messrs. Rhubarb and Boot Limited would like to take you out to lunch on Tuesday week.
Mm-hmm. Consult the diary, Miss Chaffgrind.
Oh, that appears to be in order, sir.
Splendid. Anything else?
Well, sir, there's a Mr. Fitzpatrick waiting outside. I tried to put him off, but he says he won't leave until he's seen you.
Oh, dear. Well, you better show him in, then.
What were you doing, sir, on Friday the 17th of July?
Consult the diary, Miss Chaffgrind.
Business conference at Brighton. Double room, book for you in the name of Mr. and Mrs. Prune.
Mrs. Prune, sir, happens to be my wife, and I don't think very much of it.
Consult the diary, Miss Chaffgrind.
You didn't think very much of it either, sir. Zookeeper to see you, sir.
Thank you. Send him in, please.
This way, please.
Come in, Butterling. Sit down.
There aren't any chairs, sir.
You're a troublemaker, Butterling. Now, since you joined this zoo just 3 weeks ago, Butterling, you have shown yourself to be an inefficient, lazy, vicious, foul-mouthed, lying, simple-minded little git. To be perfectly blunt, Butterling, I'm not entirely satisfied with the way in which you're carrying out your duty. So I've asked you in here for a nice, friendly little chat with me, man to God, to discuss some of the little difficulties we've been having and to fire you. Now, when you joined this zoo just 3 weeks ago, Butterling, this was the second largest zoo in the whole of Europe. We had over 6,000 animals. All we have left is a rhinoceros, 2 hyenas, and a ferret with a wooden leg. Where are the others?
I don't know, sir.
They're in the main street, Butterling, the main street. All except for the water buffalo.
Where's the water buffalo, sir?
In my bathroom. My wife found it there early this morning. She's a nervous woman, Butterling. The police caught her just 40 minutes ago. She was over 100 miles away, still running. She doesn't remember anything, and she thinks she's a potato. But the town battling, I mean, it looks like a national game reserve. I mean, battling, how does anyone lose giraffes?
People take them, sir. I don't think they mean to steal them. They just borrow them and forget to give them back.
You're lying, battling.
No,
You're lying.
no, sir.
I know all about your little agreement with the sausage factory. And the aviary, my little pride and joy, the aviary, battling. What have you done to it?
I put all the birds in one cage, sir.
Well?
The vulture's looking very well, sir.
I'm dismissing you as from today, battling. One of the baboons can take over for the time being. Now, for the rest of the day, 1, why aren't the hyenas howling?
They've got laryngitis, sir.
Well, get a record and show them how to mime. 2, get the ferret out of the elephant's cage. Doesn't fool anyone. 3, can you impersonate animals, battling?
Yes, sir, I can, sir.
Well?
Cluck, cluck, sir.
What was that, battling?
That was a hen, sir. Bow wow, sir.
No, don't tell me, battling. Let me guess that one. That was a dog.
Thank you very much, sir.
Battling! This is a zoo, not a farm! Get out! It's 5 to 1. Go and feed the animals. The animal. Oh, and battling, if there's a potato waiting outside, tell her I love her.
As you know, just recently we've heard a great many religious pop songs. And very good they are too, if you like that sort of thing. However, we now bring you a completely new musical form. A secular religious pop song.
I believe that when I'm feeling sick of stress and strife, just as I'm speeding down the foggy motorway of life, there's someone who is sure to see, someone always watching me, and I know, yes, I know who that someone will be. There is a policeman never very far away. He will take my name if ever I should go astray. So thank you, the boys in blue, for testing and arresting, for slowing and showing I'm right in believing in you. I believe that in the beginning there was a great silence, and then there came the tinkling cymbal and the sounding brass, and the 7 trumpets blew 7 times, and they created that Bacharach sound. I believe in the great prophet, Bob Dylan, and in the singing nun, and Thelonious Monk. And I also believe that whatever you do in life, there's always someone above you, someone bigger or tougher or richer. I believe there's a reason for everything. Oh yes, I believe that in the storm has turned the clouds to grey. And when the rain is falling and it seems it's here to stay, the sun will still come shining through. There'll be a silver lining too. And I know, yes, I know that it's because there is an anti-cyclone over the Azores. There's a deep depression moving to the sea. So thank you, weathermen, for caring and sharing, for knowing and showing these wonderful secrets to me.
Many airlines now offer their passengers a film show, or at least a selection of recorded music during their flights.
Yeah, it's only right.
Yes, well, of course. But naturally, the smaller airlines can't afford such luxuries, and they have to provide a more personal service for the entertainment of their passengers.
Hello. It's time for taking off. So what would you like me to start with? if you look in the pocket in front of you, you'll find a comb and a dirty handkerchief. But if you look in the pocket of the seat in front of you, you'll find a copy of Fanny Hill. Please read it carefully, then you'll know what to do. Oh, and if you're looking for safety regulations, you won't find them. It's not that sort of plane. All right, just relax and enjoy yourselves, and try not to giggle too loudly when I unfasten your safety belts. Now, here's your captain. Darling, you're on. Darling, you're on.
Hello. This is your captain. How do you do? How are you? Is everybody happy? Now, if this is your first flight, don't worry. I know just how you feel. Ha! But seriously, I do apologize that we're not able to provide a film show during your flight, but instead, my navigator will be singing selections from Gilbert and Sullivan. 8 to 10 later. And instead of the usual life jacket demonstration, the stewardess will do a few conjuring tricks, and I myself will give a display of aerobatics. What a happy plane it will be. Happy. There will also be a prize for anyone who can walk to the end of the wing and back without knocking off any of the bottles. Oh yes, and when Stewardess Bentley comes out with the tea, keep an eye on her. She's a wonderful juggler and quite a little pickpocket. Now, those of you on the port side will be able to watch me doing a few tricks on my unicycle. So bye-bye, and let's give a nice big hand for a lovely little lady doing her first show tonight, Stewardess Lulu.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you look out of the window directly below us, you can now see the pilot. Seriously, though, I'm afraid it's true. You may have thought this flight was going to Edinburgh, but I'm afraid it's raining near Rio, so we are in fact putting you down in Bangkok by parachute. But there's only one, so you'll have to take it in turns. Bag's eye first. So before I go, I'm going to sing a little song entitled She Was Only a Pilot's Daughter, but She Never Got Off the Ground.
Excuse me, do you have any books about the Golden Horde?
I'm sorry, sir. This library does not stock books about that kind of woman.
No, Horde. You know Genghis Khan and his associates.
Oh, I see. Well, yes, I'm sure we do. Are you particularly interested in the scourge of Asia?
Tropical diseases hold no fascination for me, thank you, all the same. It's Genghis Khan I'm after.
Very well, sir.
I'm going to shock you now.
How?
By telling you that I have reason to believe that I, Christopher Plumrose, am in fact a reincarnation of the aforesaid Genghis Khan. What have you got to say to that?
I'm shocked.
Told you so.
But, sir, I mean, what makes you believe that your claim is valid?
Well, now, I first realized the truth of the validity that I am the great Khan when I had a mystic experience in this cafe. I was staring moodily into my milk and dash when I saw this face looking up at me.
Well, reflection is possible, Mr. Plumrose, even in milk and dash.
A reflection of a Mongol warrior, complete with fur hat and Charlie Chan moustache.
Good Lord.
That's just what he said to me. Good Lord, he said, I have appeared to you in this milk and dash to rejoice that once again your mighty bones are cloaked in living flesh. We, your loyal servants, send you greetings from the great world of cosmic cosmos. Then he vanished in a cloud of bubbles.
Oh, why?
I forgot myself and stirred the glass.
Mr. Plumrose, are you sure it wasn't a glass of something else you were looking into?
Take that back, you dog, or your back will feel the weight of my sword, which has been reincarnated as an umbrella. The Khan has spoken. Authentic, eh?
Very good,
Not
yes.
too bad,
yes.
no,
Is that experience the sum total of your claim, Mr. Plumrose?
Do me a favour. My second psychiatric experience was on holiday this year at Blackpool. Abandoning myself to the holiday spirit, I invested in a ride on a donkey. But once astride my mount, it happened. I felt myself transformed from a rather tubby figure in khaki shorts and a fair I'll pull over into a savage, fur-clad horseman of the steppes.
You mean you actually changed clothes?
No, my reincarnation is mental.
Yes.
Anyway, the next thing I knew, I was galloping wildly across the beach, shouting strange Mongol war cries and cutting down sundry holidaymakers with my sticker rock. Then I wheeled my mount into the first aid tent and, snatching up the rather portly nurse therein, I threw her across my pommel and galloped off towards the encampment, i.e. the Clock Golf Course.
Mr. Plumrose, if you are a reincarnation of Genghis Khan, I mean, why do you want to read a book about yourself?
Well, I want to find out what I'm likely to do next and whether I can afford it on £8.10 a week. Can I live like a Khan or can't I?
Well, I mean, Genghis Khan, I mean, he got his wealth by means of pillage, murder, rape, arson.
I don't think the wife would go for any of those. What's the time?
Well, 4 o'clock. Why? What are you going to do?
Meet my little grandson Kubla Khan from school and get him home by 4:30, or the wife will beat the living daylights out of me.
You think you're Genghis Khan and you're frightened of your wife?
Oh, yes, she's Queen Victoria. Good morning.
And now we present Bill Oddie, B.A., with the Dave Lee Symphony Orchestra and Just One of Those Things.
It was just one of those things. No, not those things.
Oh, so sorry. One of these things.
No.
Oh, these things?
No.
Oh, one of these things.
Yes! It was just one of those things. That's right. It was just one of those crazy things. One of those bells that now and then ring. Just one of those things. It was just one of those nights. It was just one of those fabulous flights. A trip to the moon on gossamer wings. Just one of those things. If we thought a bit of the end of it when we started painting the town,
Paint.
we'd have been aware that our love affair was too hot not to cool down. So goodbye, dear, and amen.
Hallelujah!
Here's hoping we meet now and then.
Hello, goodbye. Hello, goodbye.
It was great fun, but it was just one of those things.
It was just one of those things. Just one of those crazy things. I took a hammer and nails and various bits of various people, and I made myself one of those things. But he came and ruined it all. He was one of those knights.
Oh, boy, I'm one of those fabulous knights, and I've come to slay your thing.
No, don't touch it. It's not doing anyone any harm. Look at it. It's just one of those things. But he was determined. He said, this thing is bigger than both of us. And so he went and drove a stake right through my thing. I give him credit. It's not easy to drive a stake, especially on English roads. Well, you know what they say? All good things must come to an end. So goodbye, dear, and amen.
Shouldn't that be amen?
Here's hoping we meet now and then. Maybe you'll come and haunt me. It was great fun, but it was just one of those things. No, not those things.
I'm so sorry. One of these things.
No.
These things?
No.
Oh, these.
Yes, it was just one of those things.
Radio is rather like a magic carpet.
You can't beat it.
I have chosen to ignore that remark.
So have the audience.
Yes. Well, as I was saying, let us jump onto the magic carpet of radio and fly back through time to old Baghdad and sit at the feet of the ancient storyteller in the marketplace as he recounts to an enraptured audience tales of long ago.
And so the noble prince on the beautiful white horse left the marble halls of the ever-virtuous one and rode off to seek the promise of goodness and truth in the golden sands of the desert.
That is the most boring story I have ever heard.
Tell us another one.
Let's have a bit of smut, shall
And listen and be attentive. Many moons ago, there lived in Baghdad a mighty caliph, and he had a beautiful daughter whose name was Sally. She was more beautiful than the sun, whose name was Mahmud. Now Sally was loved by one Ali Baba. Actually, she was loved by 2 Ali Babas. But the one I'm talking about lived in the desert alone with 40 men. Rather like Outward Bound. From far and wide, men rode to the cave of Ali to offer him their services.
Oh, Ali, son of the merchant of Baghdad, I have heard men sing your praises, and I wish to join your band.
Are you a member of the Musicians' Union?
Yes.
What can you play?
Skittles.
Ah, good. Then you can join my skittle group.
I didn't know you were a bowling alley.
Oh, that's a very bad gag.
Speaking of Baghdad, I have come to ask you to help us to get rid of the wicked caliph. For is it not written that the moon shall engulf the rocky home of the white rat?
Ha! But is it not also written that no man seeketh that which he hath found for longer than he first looks until he finds that which he never sought, lest he should lose that which he seeks ere he finds that for which he looks not and never finds?
Aye, so it is written. And very badly written. Ali, let me ride with you.
All right, if you pay my fare.
No, it's against my principles to pay Ali money. Anyway, it is written that one day you shall rule Baghdad. The caliph's daughter could be yours.
Impossible. I've only known his wife 4 months.
Then let me help you to depose the caliph, and Baghdad will be at your command.
I like it. I like your plan. What is your name?
I am Omar Khayyam.
Not the Omar Khayyam.
No, that was my cousin Angus Prune.
Why is he called... Why for is he called Angus Prune?
Well, we couldn't both be called Omar Khayyam, could we?
Enough of this hilarity. Hilarity. I will capture Baghdad and carry off the princess, and you, Omar, shall ride on my right hand.
No, thank you. I prefer a horse.
Anyway, this is the cave wherein live my 38 thieves.
I thought you had 40 thieves.
Yes, but 2 of them were stolen.
Well, all I see is a pretty ordinary rock face.
It's not just a pretty rock face. Watch this. Watch this. Open sesame. Here come my 38 thieves. Men!
Yes, Stocky?
This is Omar Khayyam. From now on, he's one of us.
Doesn't look the type to me.
Tomorrow we are going to Baghdad.
Let's beg Mum while we're at it.
Will you behave yourself? Come on, men, to Baghdad. Cowards!
And so that night, alone, Ali and Omar Khayyam crept into Baghdad disguised as 2 sheikhs, a brace of sheikhs. They were no great sheikhs, but they passed.
Ali, where are we?
I think we're in the perfumed garden.
No, that's my aftershave lotion.
Quiet. I thought I heard something.
Look, a carrier pigeon with a message tied to its leg.
What does it say?
It says, "This is the leg of a carrier pigeon."
Wait a minute, there's something written on the back.
So it is, yes. Yes, it says, "This is the back of a carrier pigeon."
No, on the back of the paper, what does it say?
I don't know, I don't understand pigeon English.
Let me see. It's from the Princess Sally. It says, "This is from the Princess Sally."
Is that all?
Wait, there's a P.S.
What does it say?
Psst.
Ali, look over there, a luscious eastern beauty, clad only in a diaphanous veil. What is she up to?
Omar, she's making eyes at me. You had better ride back and fetch the 38 thieves. I smell trouble.
No, it's just my aftershave.
Get back to the cave.
All right. And while I'm there, I'll have a nice slice of rhubarb tart.
Rhubarb tart?
Don't tell me you've never heard of the rhubarb tart of Omar Khayyam.
Now to find the princess. Perhaps that luscious eastern beauty, clad only in a diaphanous veil, will be able to help me. Excuse me, could you tell me where I can find the Princess Sally?
Yes, of course. She's in the palace.
But she...
Be warned, Ali. This is a trap set by the caliph.
But how do you know?
because I am the caliph. This diaphanous veil is merely a disguise.
Of course, I should have seen through it at once.
Guard!
Yes, master.
Take this miserable wretch and clap him in jail. So much for Ali Baba, black sheep of the family. I wonder if he's any relation of the Barbars of Seville.
Father, oh father, what will you do with him?
Well, my dear Sally, in the morning I will throw Ali Baba to my alligator. Then I shall have an Ali Baba gator.
Father, how can you be so cruel?
Practice, my dear, practice.
That night in the dungeon, Ali was visited by the princess. She stayed with him for a good 2 hours. In fact, it was the best 2 hours she'd ever had. But before she left, she told him of a plan for his escape.
Ali, listen carefully. There's great unrest in Baghdad. Tomorrow at dawn, the peasants will rise up.
Why so?
Well, they're pretty early risers in these parts.
If I am to escape, we must get through to Omar and the 38 thieves.
Leave it to me. I get through to almost everybody.
Have you a pencil?
Why?
I want you to take something down.
Oh, Ali, behave yourself.
Oh, Sally. Sally. Pride of our alley. Anyway, write a message. Write a message on this piece of my turban. Omar, having a terrible time. Khayyam as quickly as you can.
I only hope it reaches him in time.
Off you go and good luck.
Next morning, by the alligator pool in the palace.
Make way for His Highness, the Caliph of Baghdad, Keeper of the Peace, Peacock of the Orient, Moon of Baghdad, Defender of the Poor, MBE.
My people, before I throw the wretched Ali Baba to my alligator, my daughter, the Princess Sally, will perform the dance of the 7 veils. 2 pullovers and a pair of mittens. Let the music commence!
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
All right, that's enough.
Rubbish.
It is I, Ali Baba, come to carry off the beautiful princess.
Ali Baba, but how did you escape?
Simple. Omar Khayyam sent me a hacksaw concealed in a rhubarb tart.
Ah, and you sawed through the prison bars with it.
You can't saw through prison bars with a rhubarb tart.
But where are your 38 thieves?
They surround your palace. There is no escape.
All right, but you'll never catch me alive. Farewell!
Great heavens! The Caliph has jumped into the alligator pit. He's being chased round and round by the alligator. He's eaten him.
By Jove, what a tasty alligator.
Ali Baba, you must rule over Baghdad now.
Oh, no. Really, I couldn't, honestly.
All right, we'll get somebody else.
But no story would be complete without a wedding and a happy ending. So, this story must remain incomplete.
And with the Angus Prune tune, we wind up another edition of I'm Sorry, I'll Read That Again. Thank you. The voices you heard were those of Tim Brooke-Taylor, John Cleese, Graham Garden, David Hatch, Joe Kendall and Bill Oddie. The scripts were by John Esmond and Bob Larby, Graham Garden, David Lund and Bill Oddie. The songs by Bill Oddie, and the music was provided by Dave Lee. The show was produced by Humphrey Barclay, and Humphrey Barclay was produced out of a hat. If you tune in again at the same time next week, you can hear John Otto Cleese say...
I'm sorry, I'll read that again. Again.
Again!
Hello there, Ned.
Hello, Jack. Quiet at the boat tonight, isn't it?
Oh, here comes Walter.
Ah, hello, Walter.
Hey, Lord, Ned, me old pal, me old beauty. Yeah, have you all done yours?
What's that?
Well, Dan and Doris have sold Brookfield Farm and gone away to London.
Ah, and young Phil's gone with them.
And what's more, Harry, Grenville and Carol have gone to live in Bournemouth. And Jack Woolley's married Polly Mead and gone to Edinburgh. And Tom Forrest, John Tregoran and Dowie Hood have all gone to start a hotel in Bognor.
And Aunt Laura's run away with young Roger Patillo.
Oh, Joe.
Well, there's only us left then, ain't there?
Yes.
What are we gonna do then?
Oh, you wonder what's on the radio? I wonder.
I wonder.
Once again, the Angus Prune tune brings to the microphone Tim Brooke-Taylor, John Cleese, Graham Garden, David Hatch, Joe Kendall and Bill Oddie, which can only mean one thing. And here is your special announcer, John Otto Cleese, to tell you the worst.
I'm sorry, I'll read that again. Again.
Oh, dear.
Well, Mr. Portslade, I can't find anything organically wrong with you. You are overweight, certainly, but please don't waste the time of your poor overworked and underpaid GP.
But, Doctor, I've got these terrible pains here.
Good heavens. You must have been taking those hormone pills. This is fantastic, but there's no other possible explanation. You must be pregnant.
Doctor, this is terrible. What will the neighbours think?
Mr. Portslade, you've created medical history. This has never happened to a man before. You'll be a celebrity. The neighbours will be proud of you.
Doctor, you don't understand. I'm not married.
Sports time. And today, sports fans, we have another session of Radio Strip Club. Or lift up your skirts. Which today comes from the Steaming Pussycats somewhere in Soho. And to help cover, or rather uncover the event, we have our team of BBC commentators, Peter Vest, Norman Hardley, and John Harlott. So over to them to hear what's going on. Or rather, what's coming off. Good evening, listeners, and welcome to the Steaming Pussycat at the start of the second night. Not a big crowd, eh, Peter?
No, about 3, I should say.
Yes, but each and every one of them bored stiff.
Yes. Not great conditions either. The light's not at all good, though I don't think it'll stop playing. And the atmosphere is very heavy. But this should mean a bit of movement.
Oh, yes, it should be really swinging.
Oh, yes.
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 Well, we're waiting for them to come out.
And here they come.
No, just sweeping the stage.
No, wait a minute, this time. Yes, at last I think we'll be seeing them take off the covers.
Goody gumdrops.
Yes, indeed. And first from the powder room end, we'll be having, who is it?
Zaza Clegg.
Yes, that's right. Known here as Clegg the Leg, I believe.
Is that so?
Yes. And here she comes. And she takes off her sweater and hands it to the doorkeeper. Any comment, Norman?
Anyway, we can tell you she's got one fine leg and one terrible one. Peter?
Yes, very nasty. Oh, and I think she's going for a singlet here.
Yes, she got that one away safely. What were her figures last time you saw her, Morris? Not so good. 48, 32, 17. Not so good. Positively deformed. And she comes forward and drops that one just short of us down here.
Yes, she's terribly slow.
Awfully slow.
Fantastically slow.
Oh, my goodness, that was quick. I really didn't see what happened to that one. Did you, Peter?
No, I'm sorry, I wasn't looking.
What's happened?
Well, I think she's lost her left.
No, wait a moment.
Yes, it was her left.
No.
Oh, yes, it was.
Jolly good. Splendid. Well done. Good heavens, that's 3 down and 4 to go.
Ah, well, she's warming up a bit now.
Yes, I think we should be seeing her googly any time now.
Yes. And she's taking away a slip. Yes, there it goes.
What a lovely leg glance from the man in the front row. Wait a minute, I think she's reaching for her, how would you describe that, Peter?
Well, it's her, well, it's her, Norman?
It's her...
Yes, quite. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, I think it's falling.
No, it's not.
It is.
Yes, it's coming down.
Surely she's got it covered.
No, I don't think so. What do you think, Norman? Oh, no, she can't.
She can.
She must.
She's got to hold on to it.
She won't.
She will.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
She's dropped it. She's dropped it. Oh, well, there we are then. Not really as sexy as W.G. Grace, is she? From Radio Strip Club, good night. And now it's cabaret time. Bill Oddie, B.A., Dave Lee and the Session Men take you on a musical journey.
Pack up your suitcase. Don't do that. Pack up your suitcase. Lovely. Pay your fare. Won't you come along? Come along. We're gonna take a journey around the world on the wings of song. Oh, we'll hear sounds all around, in the air and on the ground, from the east to the west and back again. So let's make a start on our musical journey with a song from sunny Spain. No. Spain, with a song from sunny Spain. It's Spain! Shut up! With a song from sunny Spain. No, skip it. I wanna sing, wanna swing. Every melody I bring is for you. Yes, it's true, don't you know? And I bring a little magic back in my heart, no matter where I go. Oh, what the heck's that? Where's the bagpipes? Oh, all right, it'll do. And I'll sing a song for Glasgow. Glasgow by the Clyde. Oh, I belong to Glasgow. 'Tis all my joy and pride. Try another. No. And then we'll go to Hong Kong, land of peace and delight. And I'd love to go to Mexico. Zumba. But you'd never get it right. We'll have a thrill in Brazil where the nights are cold and chill. I'll see the hula girls of Innisfree and chant away from Iceland to Australia, helping a worldwide melody. So a tour about Germany, a Wiedersehen to France, and tell bye to those who have the dream. And join me again on a musical journey when we try again next week.
Who knocked at our back door at this time of night? Better come up through the back garden.
Maybe it's Bill and Ben, the flower pot men. We'll answer it then.
Oh, very well, dear. But I don't understand it.
Well, who is it?
It's a little fairy.
Harold, if you've been at that cooking sherry again, good heavens.
Good evening.
You see, dear, it really is a little fairy. It really is.
Rubbish. It's just that silly get-up. Look, if you'd come about the soap powder, I've got 3...
Lady, please. My name is Oberon the Quirk, and I'm one of... I am one of the actual fairies from the bottom of your commoner garden. I've come here this evening as the duly elected representative of the Upper Norwood branch of Amalgamated Fairies.
A fairy? Sorry, in a trade union?
And why not?
Look, do sit down. You must excuse the wife. She's always been a bit septic. Now, what's on your mind?
Your compost heap.
What?
Do you know that it's slap bang in the middle of my member's fairy ring?
Is it?
It is. There we all are, prancing about, weaving our little fairy spells, singing our little fairy songs, and conducting any other business. When trip, head first in a great pile of
Yeah, quite. Yeah. Well, look, I'm sorry, you know.
Yeah, it's not fit for leprechauns to work in, let alone decent British fairies.
Yeah, I think he's from the council.
In a pointed hat and a romper suit made out of ivy leaves, do you mind? Now, can I inform my executive that you intend to set your garden in order?
Oh, you can, yes, definitely, yes.
And what if we don't?
Then we shall have no alternative but to withdraw our labour hereby and forthwith.
Labour indeed. What do you do anyway?
What do we do? What do we do? Who do you think cross-pollinated your lobelia?
So it was you?
And who do you think is responsible for that 18-foot bluebell out there? Garden gnomes and allied trades, that's who.
I thought it was the new fertiliser.
Well, it was me and the lads, and if you don't watch it, we'll deflate your marrow and flit off.
No, don't do that. Not now that we've found out that we've got you. Just think, Doreen. Personal fairies.
Yes, bolshy ones.
You know, madam, if I weren't a fey little sprite, full of fun and goodness, I'd clock you round the face with me wand.
Doreen, please don't insult our little friend.
He's no little friend of mine. And anyway, I don't believe in fairies.
Don't say you don't believe in me. You'll make it happen if you do.
What'll happen?
My fairy light will go out.
Just like little Tinkerbell in Peter Pan.
Where is this fairy light anyway?
Under my fairy hat, look.
It's an ordinary 40-watt bulb. Well, I definitely don't believe in you now.
Oh, you've done it now. You've extinguished me light.
Oh, dear. Now, look, how can we get it back on? Look, I know. You'll shout, "Do you believe in fairies?" to all the children in the world. And if they shout back, "Yes," you'll be all right.
It's worth a try. Anything's better than me having a blackout. Children, do you believe in fairies? Yes! It's working. I definitely felt a flicker then. Louder, please. Do you believe in fairies? Yes! It worked! It worked! Some of those kids had deep voices, but they made me like them.
Thank goodness for that. Doreen, you know what would have happened if you'd fused his little filament, don't you? His little life would have ebbed away and he'd have fallen to the ground like a little wounded butterfly.
No, Chief. Lovely prose, but you got it all wrong.
But isn't that why you're so concerned about your little light? Because it's your sign of life?
No, it's just that with my light out, how the heck am I going to get back down that dark garden of yours?
You may or may not know that plans are now on foot.
Oh, that's my foot.
Oh, I'm sorry. To develop even further the incredible story of a certain lady and her lions. In fact, a musical version of the film version of the book version of her incredible story. And from this musical Loving Free, here is the hit song, Pride and Joy.
I long to be where we're born free,
With the animal for whom I care,
to hear once more its gentle roar,
where I always get the
lion's share. I long for a lark in a national park with a tropical moon above. Oh, take me back
with a faux car black,
and back to the beast I love, so I can once again run my fingers through his mane. Oh, I'm in love with the lion, and the lion's in love with me. Down in the jungle, I'm all right with a little bit of lion on a Saturday night. I'm in love with the lion, and I'm in ecstasy. Oh, I'm not lying, I'm relying on the lion, and the lion is lying on me. I never felt a pang for an orangutan or a flutter for a chimpanzee. I'm not a girl who winks at a passing lynx, for the lion is the cat for me. And I'm safe from men in an African den with the beast I've got my eye on. And it can't be a crime, 'cause in everything I'm content to toe the lion. I'm as happy as I could be with my African bush baby. Oh, I'm in love with the lion, and the lion's in love with me. We're the happiest couple you've ever seen. He's the king of the jungle and I'm his queen. I'm in love with the lion, and I'm in ecstasy. There's no denying that the heart is signed. I'm really dying with the trying, and I'm not lying. I'm relying on the line, and the line is lying on me. Woo!
Throughout the pages of our island heritage, steeped in the sound of battle, tinted with the vermilion hues of victory, echoing to the clash of arms, our fighting men have gone forth on the bounding ocean main to do battle with the threat of foreign oppressors.
Get on with it.
Today, we take great pride in presenting the story of our most famous sea dog, Lord Nelson. Admiral Lord Nelson was a small man. In fact, he was rather smaller than Bill Oddie.
It wasn't really as small as that, was it?
That's not very funny.
It's not even possible.
As I was saying, he was a small man who lost an eye and his left arm in battle.
Sounds more like a half Nelson.
Shut up! Shut up! He was a man of many parts. Well, a few, anyway. He loved the sound of the sea.
As in cat.
But perhaps the best way to tell our story is to give you an extract from his personal diary, known to the lads as Nelson's column.
March 29th. Will this war never end? We still have not sighted the French fleet, though Captain Hardy tells me they plan to capture the Canaries. I have put an extra padlock on their cage, just in case. March 30th. Hardy's birthday. I promised him a good line in my death scene. March 31st. A terrible storm is raging. The helmsman was washed overboard in the night. Seaman Bedworthy is now at the helm, and we have tied him to the mast. 6 bells. The mast has been washed overboard. The second mate is at the wheel, and we have nailed his boots to the deck. 8 bells. I have a new pair of boots. March 32nd. The storm is past. By my calculations, we are at the equator. Sighted our first iceberg this morning. March 33rd. Sausages for breakfast. Clean sock. March 34th. Will April never come?
Excuse me, Admiral.
Ah, Captain Hardy.
Sir, the lookout has reported a ship's sail.
Well, go and see if you can pick up something cheap.
But, sir, it could be the French.
By George, Hardy.
Manual Hardy, actually, sir.
Ah, a Hardy manual.
Yes, and you'll find I'm a manual-like.
That was a bit laboured.
Yes, I'm a manual labourer.
Hardy, this is our chance. Come, we must go up on the poop.
What's a poop?
A young sea dog. Here we are, Hardy. Now, where are the French?
Over there, sir. Look through this telescope.
I see no telescope. We must follow the French fleet and destroy them.
We can't do it single-handed, sir.
Careful, Hardy. We must sail faster. Bosun!
Aye, aye, Admiral.
Aye, sir. 'Tis a fine day for a battle, and the men are spoiling for a fight, sir. Aye, give 'em a chance, give 'em a chance, give 'em a chance, sir. And they'll run Johnny French out of the sea, sir. We'll give 'em a taste of our British food, sir. Aye, and a yo-ho-ho to the lot of you.
By my life, it's Walter Gabriel. Bosun, put on every inch of sail.
Aye, aye, sir. How do I look?
On the mast, idiot.
I can't, sir.
Why not?
It's a mizzen.
Well, get another.
Aye, aye, sir. And as we do it, me and the boys will oblige ye with an old song of the sea. Are you ready, lads? Off you go.
Scupper the anchor and button the hatch.
Way, hey, Johnny!
Mizzen the plimsoll line, open the latch.
Way, hey, me hearties! And we're bound for the Rio Grande. And a sweet little gal in a bloody blue dress. Oh, in Liverpool town. With a heave-ho and a following wind. Oh!
Do shut up. Hardy. Take command. Give the bosun the orders.
Aye, aye, sir. We'd like 2 large cocos and a sea dog biscuit.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Careful, bosun.
Sorry, I forgot. Aye, Captain.
Lady Hamilton coming alongside.
What was that?
I said Lady Hamilton coming alongside.
Ah. Lady Hamilton. How did she get out here in the middle of the Atlantic?
She's wearing motor wings, sir.
Are you sure?
Oh, well, now you come to mention it.
Ahoy there! I'm coming aboard!
Well, Lady Hamilton, what a pleasant surprise. Will you come into my cabin for a little while?
I know you and your little wiles, but I must confess I could do with a nice seat.
Yes, I see what you mean.
Oh, Horatio, at last I've found you.
Madam, what are you saying?
I'm saying, oh, Horatio, at last I've found you. I've searched for you everywhere. I looked for you at the Admiralty, but they told me you were abroad.
That's a dirty lie. It's just the way I walk.
Oh, Horatio, hold me in your arm. Let me look into your eye.
All right, but it's not a patch on the other one.
I'm yours, Horatio.
Madam, please, this is a family show.
Then think of me as one of the family.
All right, Father. But you can't stay here. We're about to do battle with the French. This is no place for a woman.
Then let me fight with you.
Oh, no. You're bigger than I am.
I mean, let me fight beside you.
This is ridiculous. How could you fight in that ridiculous crinoline dress?
Well, I could take it off.
Right, yes, here's a cutlass.
Oh, thank you, Horatio. Thank you.
Next morning.
Admiral, the crew are turning ugly.
No, they always look like that.
No. The crew talk of taking over the ship and sailing to the West Indies.
That's funny. My wife went to the West Indies.
Jamaica?
Is that in the West Indies?
Yes.
Oh, I must mean the East Indies.
Jakarta?
No, she went by train.
Admiral Nelson, Captain Hardy. The crew are threatening to throw the officers into the sea. And then make 'em walk the plank. Then they'll keel haul the lot of ye and lock ye in the reference library. Aye, and shiver your timbers, and very probably splice your main braces as well. And I'm in mortal danger just telling ye all this, because I might very well rupture me tonsils. Aye, sir, Jim lad, where was I? Aye, sir. Aye, that's what they do say, sir. And they're gonna hang ye from the highest yard arm and hoist ye with your own petar.
I think we better go on deck, Admiral. As Hardy and I climbed up on deck, the men gathered around us, cussing and brandishing their table tennis bats. One of them, a marmalade-colored Syrian with cruel ears and rings through his teeth, struck Hardy viciously across the face with a piece of string. Admiral, they're in a nasty mood. You'd better give them a short address. What's wrong with the dress I'm wearing?
You can't get round us like that, Admiral, with all your fancy talk.
Who are you?
I'm the ship's doctor.
Oh, how is the ship?
Listless, sir. We've had enough of your rotten ship and its rotten food. Yeah. We'll cast ye adrift in an open boat like we did with that painted woman, Lady Hamilton.
She's not a painted woman?
She is now.
Men, are you behind me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's where you are.
French fleet approaching on the port bow.
At last. How many are there, Hardy? 36 ships, sir, against our one. What should we do? Split up and surround them. That's a very old joke. It's a historical sketch, Hardy. Bosun, where are you?
Here, sir.
Where?
Hiding in this cannon, sir. I'm afeard, Admiral. I'm mortal afraid, sir. I'm wonderful terrified. And I'm stuck, sir.
So I see. Hardy, hand me that lighted taper. Bosun, you're fired. I'm glad that was your line, sir. Mr. Midshipman.
Yes, sir.
Take this famous message and hang it up on the mast and mind my washing.
Aye, aye, sir. There it is, sir. Man his duty expects to every England do.
Yes, I'm not really happy with that yet. You better send it by semaphore. What's a semaphore? It's for making semolina. Why do you want to make semolina? Because she's far too fat.
Oh, I see.
And I'm still not happy with that message. Let battle commence. Oh, Hardy, I've been hit.
Shall I carry you below, sir?
That's where I've been hit. Oh, Hardy, I'm dying, Hardy. Dying.
Bad luck, sir.
Kiss me, Hardy. Hardy, we're going to have to stop meeting like this.
Admiral, the French fleet are sailing off. They're running away.
It's incredible.
It's fantastic.
It's unbelievable.
And of course it's not true. But that is our version of Admiral Lord Nelson's most famous victory, named after the well-known London landmark, and forever to go down in history as the Battle of Piccadilly Circus.
And so the Angus Prune tune ends another edition of I'm Sorry, I'll Read That Again, which was written this week by John Esmond and Bob Larby, Graham Garden, Eric Idle, David and Peter Lund, and Bill Oddie. The songs were by Bill Oddie and the music was provided by Dave Lee. Those taking part were Tim Brooke-Taylor, John Cleese, Graham Garden, David Hatch, Joe Kendall, and Bill Oddie. The show was produced by Humphrey Barclay, who was produced by Mrs. Barclay. So that's it until the same time next week, when once again you will hear your special announcer saying this.
This.
Hello, this is Radio BBC. Big B here talking to all you big Bs at home. And it's on the hour Big B News Time. Tells you less, says it faster. Dateline, Monday, March the 17th of February. March day, Date March, Monline the 17th. Date March, Monline the March line, Monday the Here is the news. Tel Aviv, New York, Siam, to name but three.
East Grinstead, the leader of the Conservative Party, President Roosevelt, today spoke at the Tarty-Pori Conference. The Big B weather check. Wet or dry, hot or cold. How should we know? Over to Big B Weather Tower.
Hello. And storm forecast for the North Sea, gale force winds and heavy seas. As a deep depression moves in from the northeast and reaches eastern coastal areas about now, also heavy rain. And from Big B on the weather tower.
Hello. And number 17 on the charts and coming up fast is the Angus Prune Tune. I'm sorry, I'll speed that again.
And that tune means to us on dry land that Tim Brooke-Taylor, John Cleese, Graham Garden, David Hatch, Joe Kendall and Bill Oddie are with you again. And here with a personal message is none other than the voice of Big B.
I'm sorry, I'll read that again.
Many people have asked us how the BBC finds out the number of people that listen to its programmes.
Excuse me, how does the BBC find out how many people listen to its programmes?
Find out the number of people that listens to its programme.
This is of particular interest at the moment because we're very proud to announce that last week's programme had a listening index of 3.4.
3.4? 3.4? You're
Bill.
proud of 3.4? There's more than that here, look. 1, 2, 3, 4.
No, you don't understand.
3.4,
An index of 3.4 is equal to 17 million listeners.
How do you know?
Well...
It's pretty unlikely to be exactly 17 million, isn't it?
Well, there were 17 million listening, roughly.
What do you mean, listening roughly? I mean, they had it on quietly, or they were watching television at the same time, or ironing the baby or something, eh?
All right, then. There were 16,007,043, roughly.
Ah, well, might as well call it 17 million.
All right, then, 17 million.
Anyway, how do you know?
I'm afraid I can't tell you that.
Why not?
Because I don't know.
I know.
You do?
Yes.
How do they do it? Oh, tell me, please, Bill. I've always wanted... Oh, Bill, please tell me. I've always wanted to know. I've thought about it nights. And, I've had to... Please, Bill.
No!
Please! Bill, tell me. Please, Bill. I've always wondered about it. And really, I can't sleep at nights. Bill, I'll give you anything.
Every Monday evening, when the city is steeped in darkness, on the stroke of 9:57, a mighty but light-footed army of Chinese dwarves glide about the households, listening at keyholes and spying through windows. They are employed by the light programme and known as the Chinks of Light. And at the stroke of 9:60, if they hear this... they all rush back to the BBC.
To report?
No, because they can't stand the tune.
Keep talking, fellas. Dave Lee's just walked out.
But then, a team of trained BBC chimpanzees scale the rooftops.
Scale.
As it were, like so many chimpanzees.
How many?
So many.
How do you know?
Shut up. And they drop a microphone down the chimney. And then, half an hour later, they pull it up again.
And what do you tell from that?
Whether or not you've got a fire in. And if you haven't, we get a recording of audience reaction. Otherwise, we get a little black charred microphone. Now, often we get this. Then if we hear this, we rate you rather poor. If we hear this, we rate you good. And if we hear this, we rate you insane. And if we hear this... we sell it on the black market and send a cameraman back next time.
What sort of reaction does I'm sorry get, then?
Well, let's try this lot, shall we? Should be a fair sample. All right, then. All of you, 1 for testing. You, Sarah, 3 from the front. Let's have a laugh, can we, please, just for testing? Thank you, very good. Now let's see if the rest of you can do something as good as that, shall we? Let's have a go. Right, all together this time. Let's have you. 1, 2, 3. Well, 2 goods over there, 3 insane on the left and 1 dead on this side.
What's the point of all this?
Well, it's canned laughter.
Canned laughter?
Yeah, well, it's better than the frozen stuff, isn't it?
Today, as you know, is the start of the state visit of their Imperial Highnesses, the Tsar and Tsarina of the Backward Islands. Covering this event for us, Edgington Hatch.
Good afternoon, listeners, from the backyard of the forecourt of St. James's, where there is a big crowd gathered, waiting for the arrival of the Tsar and Tsarina. And here they come, the Tsarina on horseback and the Tsar in his car. It's an occasion of magnificent ceremony and splendid pomp. And now the Tsar's car is stopping at the splendid pomp for a gallon of petrol. And now, as they come down before us here in Whitehall, the crowd is calling for the Tsar to stand up in his car and wave to them.
Stand up in your car and wave to him!
He's getting up, and they pull him back through the roof. And now we can hear the first military detachment approaching. Yes, it's the Lancers. And the Tsarina dismounts and takes a few steps. Slow, slow, quick, quick, slow, circle left and dozy-do. Promenade down, 2 by 2. If you've never been kissed, then to you. And slowly and graciously now, she steps forward and happily mounts the dais. Yes, happy dais are here again. And now the colour sergeant comes towards her.
How do you do there, ma'am?
And he hands her the colours. She looks closely at them, and she's chosen coral pink for the bathroom and off-white for the kitchen. And now the colour sergeant offers the Tsar the ceremonial sword. He reaches out and takes it. And bandaging his hand, the Tsar returns to his car and the Tsarina remounts. And as Big Ben strikes, we're due now for the 21-gun salute. There it is. And a direct hit first time. And so we come to the great occasion of the afternoon. The Tsarina is about to unveil the splendid new statue of King Ethelred, which is to stand here on Horse Guards Parade. And she's coming up now to the tape. And she's off! And she's galloping around the colour sergeant, over the standard bearer, along the red carpet, and away down Horse Guards Parade. And the Tsar's car is a little slow off the mark, but he's away and after her now. Oh, and that one just missed him. The Tsarina still 4 lengths in the clear as they go into the mall. It's over to Winford Vaughan Cleese at St. James's Park.
And as they come down towards me, the Tsar's car is now 3 lengths up on the Tsarina's horse, and they're both well clear of 12 policemen. And 2 battalions of the Household Cavalry. 1 battalion now, the Household Cavalry. And he's trying to cut her off. Just listen to them as they come past me now. There goes the Tsar. And the Tsarina. And now they're approaching the park railings, and the Tsarina's up and over, and the Tsar is... through. And coming, Peter O'Garden at St. James's Park, Lakeside.
Yes, well, the Tsar is back in the lead now. Oh, and that's heading straight for the Tsarina. Oh, but he's caught it. Well done, well done, well done. And the Tsarina is thundering up to the edge of the lake. Her horse pulls up, but she carries on. And in. The Tsar has stopped at the edge. Just. And now the Tsar is out of his car and the Tsarina's out of her depth. But he's in after her as the Metropolitan hovercraft arrives on the scene. Oh, pity about that. And now the happy couple emerge safely on the far bank.
The Tsarina is wearing a pink suit with matching tunic, with a tufted duck on one shoulder and a stickleback in her left ear.
So, smiling happily. And as the Houses of Parliament sink slowly in the west, they take the salute. And here comes the final military detachment. Who can it be? Yes, it's the infantry. And so, as we return into the studio, I can only say...
Folk singer Joan Byers recently announced that she considered herself more a politician than a folk singer. Soon after this, Tory candidate Clint Ponsbury Crump announced that he considered himself more a folk singer than a politician. Will we ever forget his appearance at the last party political rave-up?
Oh, I hope so. Hi there, young conservatives. Gosh, I never thought I'd have a record of my own, but I've got something to sing about now, and I hope I'm singing it for my lady wife, and for Mr. Heath, and for Mr. Maudling, and I hope I'm singing it to all of you. Oh, I don't want no satisfaction. I don't want no girly action. I don't want to be your mate. I just wanna be your candidate. So why won't you vote for me? Oh, can't you see we're on the eve of election, madam?
They tell me that you're not profound. They say you'll never save the pound. Your economics let you down, but you sing much better than Mr. Brown.
So why won't you vote for me? Oh, can't you see we're on the eve of election, babe? Our latest manifesto has already sold 15,000 copies, and we should be getting another gold and white paper for that. Our last financial record, not so good, I'm afraid, but then it was a calculated disc. Good news for me, though, I'm to become Singer of the House of Commons. Now all I have to do is record a Dylan song, and I should make the cabinet.
So take me on the back bench, please.
And I give you a credit squeeze.
We can Sonny and share a seat for two.
You vote for me, and I vote for you. So why won't you vote for me? Oh, can't you see we're on the eve of election, babe? Oh, can't you see we're on the eve of election, babe? Won't you vote for me, babe?
One love. Two love. New ball, please.
Your coffee, sir?
Thank you, Perkins.
Sir?
Yes, Perkins?
The men are getting worried about you, sir.
How sweet of them, Perkins. Why is that?
You've been on the bridge for 3 months now, sir, without relief.
3 months, is it? My, how time flies.
Yes, sir. And we've been at sea for a year now. We've only enough food for 2 more days. We don't know where we're going.
Perkins, what's this? Mutiny?
No, sir. But I have been told to tell you that unless things improve, the men will throw you overboard, sir.
Oh, but I can't swim.
No, sir.
Well, look, Perkins, strictly between ourselves, I've been frozen to the wheel for a fortnight. Didn't want the men to know. Bad for morale.
I'm sorry, sir. Talking of morale, some of the men are looking at you now, sir. Do you think you could jut your chin a little more? They do so like it. Oh, well jutted, sir.
Thank you, Perkins. It's one thing they did teach us at Dartmouth.
Where are we, sir?
Well, I'm fairly sure we're somewhere in the Baltic.
That's funny, sir. Isn't that the Southern Cross?
Look, Perkins, don't tell the men, but the trouble is I dropped the compass last month. I've been steering by watch ever since.
By watch, sir?
Yes, don't you remember your Boy Scout training, Perkins? Point the hour hand at the sun, and the line between that and 12 o'clock faces north.
South.
Oh.
Anyway, there's been no sun for a week, sir. And you lost your watch the day after we left Portsmouth, sir.
All right, Perkins, all right. I was lying.
I think you ought to steer to the right, sir.
Why?
Otherwise we shall hit that iceberg.
Which iceberg?
The one immediately in front of us, sir.
Oh, yes, I see.
Thanks.
Well done, Perkins, well done. What do we do?
You speak into that tube, sir.
Oh, really? Well, what shall I say?
Harder starboard, sir.
Harder starboard? Oh, what a funny expression. Do you think you'll know what to do?
Well, you can try, sir. I believe he's a bit rusty. After all, he hasn't had an order for a year, has he, sir?
All right, Perkins. Here we go, then. Hard a starboard. Hello? Anyone there? Hello, operator? Operator. There's no reply. We'll try again later.
So we still have a problem with us, sir.
What's that?
The iceberg, sir.
Oh, yes. Well, how are we going to put the brakes on?
No brakes, sir. We could try throwing a heavy buoy overboard, sir.
Oh, I think that's a bit cruel, Perkins. There must be a better way.
No, sir. A B-U-O-Y, sir.
Oh, a B-U-O-Y. But look, before we do anything else, perhaps you could unfreeze me from the wheel. Pour some coffee down my trouser legs or something like that.
Certainly, sir. Black or white?
Black, please. No sugar. Thank you, Perkins. That's better.
Another cup, sir?
No, that was enough, thank you. Now, what about this iceberg?
It's all right now, sir. We've stopped.
So we have? What could have happened?
I think we've run out of fuel, sir.
Oh.
We could burn those Aborigine shields you bought in Australia, sir.
No. They're a present for my wife.
All 3,000 of them, sir?
Yes. We play games. No, not the shields. Perkins.
Sir.
Did you ever university, Perkins?
I never went to university.
Good heavens.
I'm afraid it's goodbye, sir.
Oh, really? Are you off then?
No, sir. You are.
Where am I going?
Well, sir, you see that plank there?
Yes?
Just keep walking along it, sir.
Mutiny, Perkins?
Yes, sir.
Pity.
Goodbye, sir.
Goodbye, Perkins. Oh, Perkins?
Sir?
Thanks for the coffee.
It gives us much pleasure now to present the first public performance of a new work specially commissioned by the Rhubarb Tart Marketing Board. It's called the Rhubarb Tart Song.
Join the Rhubarb Tart Sing!
I want another lovely slice of a rhubarb tart. I want another lovely slice. I'm not disparaging the blueberry pie, but a rhubarb tart is oh so very nice. A rhubarb what? A rhubarb tart. Rhubarb tart. A rhubarb tart. I want another slice of rhubarb tart. The principles of modern philosophy were postulated by Descartes. Discarding everything he wasn't certain of, he said, I think, therefore I am a rhubarb tart. A rhubarb what? A rhubarb tart. René who? René Descartes. For Martin Gorky was a rhubarb tart. Since Wassily, Kandinsky and Paul Klee laid down the axioms of abstract art, even Jackson Pollock and Piet Mondrian prefer to paint a slice of rhubarb tart. Wassily who? Wassily. Candid who? Kandinsky. How did he get in there for a start? Read all the existentialist philosophers like Schopenhauer and Jean-Paul Sartre. Even Martin Heidegger agrees on one thing: eternal happiness is rhubarb tart. A rhubarb what? A rhubarb tart. Jean-Paul who? Jean-Paul Sartre. That sounds just like a rhyme for 9 o'clock.
And so
Remember whether you're an engineer, a farmer, tailor, boatswain, timberman. Our advice to you is always go to work for the slice of rhubarb tart.
And now, pull your armchair close to the fire and listen carefully, for you will hardly believe the story I am about to unfold. The story of Dr. Heckle and Mr. Jibe. It all began one filthy November evening, which I greatly enjoyed. But as I hurried home through the dismal streets, I had a strange foreboding, and the wind. The wind whistled through the treetops, and I shuddered as the rain glittered in the moonlight and fell into the gutter. Picking myself up, I pressed on and eventually reached my house. Imagine my surprise when I found a message under the doormat, which I read at once. It said, "Welcome." Then I read the message.
It was from an old friend of mine, Timothy Brown Windsor, and said that he was coming to see me next morning on an important matter. But as I turned to enter the house, suddenly, I noticed something in the doorway. It was the door. Next morning, Timothy Brown Windsor arrived to see me very early, just after dawn. In fact, I just got her out of the house in time. I asked him to tell me what it was all about.
Mr. Blackwood, you must know that I'm very worried about a friend of mine, Dr. Heckle.
Why don't you sit down in this chair and tell me all about it?
All right. The chair is a straight-backed Queen Anne Cherrywood Chippendale.
Yes, now tell me about Dr. Heckle.
Ah, yes. I fear that Dr. Heckle is in some sort of trouble. Last week he disappeared. We later discovered he had been locked in the laboratory.
All week?
From Monday till Saturday.
And nobody knew he was there?
No. And that's not all. He left this note.
It's middle C. I think we'd better get over to his house at once.
I think we'd better.
Yes. Dr. Heckle lived in a very seedy and disreputable area of London. Birmingham.
This is Dr. Heckle's house.
You rang, sir?
No, it was the bell. This is Mr. Blackwood. We have come to see Dr. Heckle.
I'm afraid Dr. Heckle is out at present, sir. Will you wait in here?
Who's there, Grimling?
Master Brown Windsor and a friend, Mrs. Heckle.
Show them to the sitting room, Grimling.
I've shown them to the sitting room, Mum, but I don't think it was very impressed.
That's a very bad joke, Grimling.
I'm a very bad butler, Mum.
Brown Windsor, you never told me that Dr. Heckle was married.
Yes, and a charming woman, too.
You never told me he was a charming woman, either.
No, his wife. Shh, here she comes.
Gentlemen, I'm so glad you've come. Will you take a little tea?
Capital!
Oh, all right, a capital tea. Oh, I'm so worried about my husband.
Why are you so worried about your husband? Is it because he keeps disappearing?
And not only that, but the day he disappeared, there was the report of a terrible crime of violence in the paper.
And you think he may have been behind it?
Oh, no, we looked behind the paper.
I think we'd better take a look at his laboratory.
Certainly. It's down in the cellar. Follow me.
Right.
Oh, I'm so sorry. This is the attic.
Mrs. Heckle led us down to the cellar. The room was full of test tubes and beakers, and there was a cupboard full of retorts. Which I memorized for future occasions.
Mr. Blackwood, look, over here.
Let me see. This could be a secret formula. It's written in French. What does it say?
It says, une chose.
Une chose. This can only mean one thing. And it's terrible.
Took the words right out of
Yes,
my
and
mouth.
look here. Look. Here beside it, a copy of the Encyclopedia Britannica. A good copy, but it doesn't fool me for a minute.
What are you all doing in my laboratory?
Dr. Heckle!
Yes? I simply don't understand this, and I would like an explanation.
Right, the story so far. Mr. Blackwood and Tim Brown Windsor are investigating the mysterious disappearance of Dr. Heckle. When they arrive in Rotterdam, they find that Feldman has already taken the water chestnuts out of the cage. Alarmed, and knowing that Baron Cryer is on his way to Zurich, they decide to pay a call on the mysterious Dr. Heckle. Now read on.
Dr. Heckle, where have you been for the last few days?
What's it to you?
And what's it to you too, mate?
Please, gentlemen. All we wish to know, Dr. Heckle, is whether you were responsible for the hideous and unspeakable crimes of violence committed during the last week. I believe that you have been dibbling in block magic.
I don't like don't like the way you said that.
Then you admit it.
Well, I can't deny it.
That's not what I asked you.
All right, then I admit it.
So you don't deny it?
Yes.
Do you realize what you're saying?
Well, I'm not too sure, actually. Oh, very well, I'll tell you. I have discovered how to change my personality, and even my physical appearance, thanks to a major breakthrough. I met him in a pub, and he told me where I could find what I was looking for. In the ancient mystical work on black magic and the occult, by the Egyptian Ramesses Pintok, Pototoxanotl of the dynasty Crataloprax.
But that's unspeakable.
Yes, it was rather difficult. Anyway, last week I completed my experiment, and by drinking this potion I became a different man. Watch this. I'm changing.
I'm changing!
Turn away, Mrs. Heckle. You shouldn't watch a gentleman changing.
There you see, I am no longer Dr. Heckle. I have turned into my unbelievably wicked other self, Mr. Jibe.
Brown Windsor, we're really in the soup. Get Mrs. Heckle out of here. I've never seen anything so hideous in all my life.
Oh, I think she's quite pretty.
Take her away, man, and then go for a policeman.
Oh, no. Last time I went for a policeman, he bit my nose.
Do what I tell you.
All right, all right, all right.
Now, Mr. Jibe, I'm going to keep you here until the police arrive.
But aren't you afraid of me with my long yellow fangs?
I've seen better fangs in my time.
Yes! Fangs ain't what they used to be.
Wasn't that funny?
Hello. Now then. What have we here? Evening all. Excuse me, sir.
The police?
No, I've just come to read the gas meter. This is the policeman.
Excuse me, but which of you gentlemen would be the unprincipled monster who has been committed unspeakable crimes of an hideous nature all over the place?
Constable, this man is your fiend.
He's no fiend of mine, sir.
I mean, this is the man you have been searching for.
Oh, no, I prefer something a bit more rugged, sir.
Constable, arrest Mr. Jibe.
Very well, sir. Mr. Jibe, I must ask you to accompany me to the station.
What for?
Well, I'd like somebody to see me off.
Never take me, Constable.
Look out, he's getting away.
He's heading for the roof. Quickly, after him.
We followed Mr. Jibe to the top of the house, and then began a nightmare chase as the constable and I rushed madly over the rooftops. At last, I caught him. Then I was it, and the constable chased me for a little while. As for Mr. Jibe, he was never seen again, and that concludes the story. But if you're walking home some foggy evening down a long, dark street, and you hear footsteps behind you, don't look around. It might be me.
And with the Angus Prune tune, we bring to an end another edition of I'm Sorry, I'll Read That Again. Those involved were Tim Brooke-Taylor, John Cleese, Graham Garden, David Hatch, Joe Kendall and Bill Oddie. The scripts were written by John Esmond and Bob Larby, Graham Garden, Alan Hutchison and Bill Oddie, the songs by Bill Oddie and John Cleese, and the music was provided by Dave Lee. The whole show was produced by Mistake and Humphrey Barclay. So there it is until the same time again next week, when you will hear John Otto Cleese say once again...
Once again.